Hi there, I'm GoatBlob. But of course, you can always just call me. And I've got a lot of hobbies. Pixel art, working out, running, board game creation, 3D painting, embroidery.
I like crafting.
I like
almost
board game
anything.
creation,
I like sketching.
The point is, I just like a lot of things. I have like too many hobbies. But my favorite hobby has game development.
I feel like that was too early. I don't know why.
More specifically, I love game jams. It's really what got me into game design to begin with. And the most recent one I've been in was called GDKO, or Game Dev Knockout. The premise of Game Dev Knockout was pretty simple. Make a game in 2 weeks, and it had to follow the theme, of course, which in this case was you have to make 2 mechanics that quote-unquote promote progression. What does that mean? I wasn't entirely sure, but I went for it. But there is a key difference in GDKO compared to other game jams. Because in GDKO, your games are ranked and then knocked out. The way it works is after each round of people making games, everyone goes around and rates them. The games ranking in the bottom 5th get cut, and those developers place wherever they landed. Everyone else gets invited to the next round, where the exact same process happens again. This past month, January, was the first round of GDKO 2025. And here's how it went for me. I actually started making my game on New Year's Day, which was on the way back from our annual family vacation to Canada. See, the theme was announced on New Year's Eve, and that night I had pretty much had the idea that I wanted to go with. I wanted to create a tile-based crafting puzzle game, the 2 mechanics being finding resources and then crafting them into different items that could be used to solve puzzles. So on the first day, really all I wanted to do was implement movement, which was a good thing, because on the drive home it got really bumpy, and the instant I stopped making movement, I had to stop working entirely to avoid violent road sickness. The rest of the way back home, I pretty much just slept, to be totally honest. On day 2, I worked on the art for my game, which I understand is like really early to be working on art, but to be totally honest, game development has always been like very visual for me. I started off as a pixel artist, so really that got me into game development, not really the other way around. The way I feel is like once I get the art in my game, I can focus on the feel better because I know like which direction I'm going in. So yeah, pretty much day 2 was getting a lot of the art working in the game and working on how I wanted the game to look. So I had to make items that could be crafted together. I had to make tools that could be like actually made with the craftable items. Just various different things that I would need for the project came on day 2. On days 3 and 4, I implemented crafting into my game, which essentially works by picking up an item and placing it directly onto another item, magically creating a tool you can use to solve a level. I also went ice skating for the first time, which went absolutely amazingly. Yeah, not so much. At this point, I should probably explain what the general idea of my game is. Essentially, my vision is to have a character that moves around, picking up materials, and combining them into different tools. Each of the tools has a different mechanic associated with it that can be used to solve different puzzles. Pretty simple. The progression portion is essentially just working your way through levels, which in my case is a pit at the center of each room that you can use a ladder to go down to reach the next level. That's pretty much it. On days 5 and 6, I got very little work done. I was, busy, or something. On day 7, I got more items implemented and added a bunch of mechanics. This actually took up a lot of time. I managed to get like 1 level implemented on this day, and that was pretty much it for day 7. It turns out creating puzzle levels is actually pretty difficult. Walking the line of difficulty is strange, because as a game creator, you have ultimate knowledge of your game, so no matter what you come up with, it'll seem really easy. Yet a new player will be in a totally different mindset to you, which leads to making hard decisions about what's actually hard and what you think will be hard, and the difference between those. Speaking of which, day 8 was all puzzle design. Just designing and designing and designing and designing puzzles over and over and over and over again. But by the time I got a good amount of puzzles into my game, I was so sick of listening to literally nothing that I got to move on to sound effects. So on day 9, that's pretty much what I did, just a whole bunch of sound effects, which I made predominantly with my mouth. I have literally no budget at all, so yeah, here's some of those. I then decided to focus on a tutorial. I wanted the game to really grab you right when you first start, so I decided to make my tutorial fully voiced. Kind of like in a Stanley Parable kind of vibe, which I ended up being really happy with, actually. Mr. Tilestepper was known for his love of stepping on tiles. He particularly loved to use the W, A, S, and D keys to accomplish this task. And around this point, I was essentially done with the core aspects of my game as I saw them, and just wanted to add some finishing touches. So the remaining couple of days, I just kind of whipped up a main menu and an end screen, and added a couple musical elements that I created. It turns out I actually made those really, really loud, but I mean, some things you're just gonna have to overlook as time winds down. About this time, the time was running pretty low, so pretty much what I did was just whip together an itch page as fast as I could, and upload it to the jam. And that's how I created Tilestepper. Voting was a cool process as always. It's always really cool to play everyone's different games that everyone worked really hard on. We had a week to do that, pretty much just playing games, voting on your favorites, and then leaving comments on kind of interesting things that you thought of each person's game. Then we were left until the 31st to see who actually makes it to round 2. Which means I still don't know if I made it or not. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But if I did make it, part 2 will come soon, I guess. I don't really know. We'll just see. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.